right, before we get into some, not Auburn losing again or Cardinals losing again.
Ouch, Rock.
Something I want to bring up that I had no idea our next guest had this talent. So I played in a golf tournament last Friday. Was it Friday? Friday, yeah. I was two and a half hours late to the show.
Oh, well, that's perfect.
Because of our next guest.
Uh-huh.
Because I found out that our next guest could do headstands.
What?
On the golf course.
Seriously?
What?
Yes, Frank Sanders.
Talented?
Yes. He was challenged at the golf course if he could do a headstand.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way. There's no way. And he was playing right ahead of me. I didn't know we were in the same golf tournament.
Okay.
There he was. You know, what was funny is he wasn't dressed up. You know, you wouldn't know it was him.
Nope.
He usually really looks good, right?
Styling.
He's usually wearing all the black.
Sure.
You know, it looks good, but he wasn't doing it.
Got a lot. His drip is going good,
Yeah.
right?
So, you know, Frank Sanders now joins us on the Right to It guest line here at Fox Sports 910.
I got to hear this.
So, Frank, first of all, I'm impressed you know how to do a headstand. But I didn't know, was there a bet to see if you could do it or not? Because I may have missed that part.
How you guys doing? Happy Monday. It was we was probably about 4 or 5 holes. We was probably about 7 to 8 holes already in the golf tournament. So, you know, there's already
an open bar.
There was a little bet on. It was a little bet on the table. But you know, hey, it was my first time ever doing it. So, you know, that'd be short of me not to take the challenge. And I had a good coach, and I followed the instructions, and that's the first time I ever did it, so it worked out.
Did you have
I
to
didn't embarrass myself?
I knew you wouldn't do that, but did you have to hold that headstand for like 4 or 5 seconds before it was approved, or what?
He did.
You did?
Yeah, I did. Rock's right there. He saw it, man. I was pretty impressed with it. You know, surprisingly that, you know, Rock didn't do it himself.
No way.
He said, no, thank you.
I didn't want to look like an idiot. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, because if it doesn't work, he's lucky because he's a former professional athlete. I'm not.
Sure.
I mean, you know, Minucci probably could do it.
You know, and you said 4 or 5. I went, easy, 4 or 5 holes. I just say 4 or 5 drinks in.
Yeah,
same thing. He drinks. You know, it's a drink a hole.
Well, that's a true athlete right there. You can do that with you know some slight beverages going on there, Frank.
Hey, brother. Hey, sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't. But Rock was there. You know, I wasn't going to embarrass myself in front of Rock like that. No way. It's a different.
And I found out
a different show if Rock had saw me mess up.
True. And I finally found out what P&P was.
P&P.
Yeah. Does anybody know what P&P is?
I don't want.
I'm almost afraid to ask.
Yeah, I want to take a stab at it.
Patron and pineapple.
Woo!
P&P.
P&P.
I learned something, Frank. Thanks, buddy.
Very high class, Frank.
It's delicious, brother. Look, the tournament was great.
You do handstands when you do P&P. It must have been good.
Happy Monday.
Yeah. So, your initial thoughts on what we saw yesterday with the Cardinals and the Lions?
Okay, you know, just honestly, I thought the game was a well-coached game.
Okay.
And I thought it was a really good match, a head match. You know, when I'm talking about that, coach versus coach, game plan versus game plan, and the adjustments that needed to be made to give yourself the best opportunity versus a very good Detroit Lion. And I'm speaking primarily from the Arizona Cardinals side. However, when you look at what the Cardinals did versus them, I mean, they made some plays and they put themselves in good positions, you know, to really win that ball game. Unfortunately, a couple of plays here or there, the Cardinals probably could have won the game. I mean, and that would have been a couple of great plays. But when you look at the numbers, and the statistical numbers on third down, the Cardinals were 1 for 9. They had a total of 53 total plays offensively, and they were less than 13 minutes than the opponent. So those numbers don't really match for winning the opportunity to win the game. But like I said before, a couple of plays here or there, they probably could have eked out with a win.
You know, the other thing too is I will disagree in one area, Frank. I just don't see Drew Petzing in that second half. Creativity as far as those last couple drives of trying to get down the field. Last 15 plays of the game are throws. Okay, I get it. You can't run the ball. They stuffing you. But where's the stuff across the middle? Maybe some option routes with your running back and your tight end now goes out with the concussion. I just didn't see anything across the middle, and it seemed as though, I just want to get your take on this, some of those balls that were thrown along the left sideline were 50-50 balls, or maybe give their defensive corners a little more credit. I just am not seeing the creativity or adjustments by Drew Petzing in the second half when teams stymie his run game.
You know what? I want to. You made a statement in what you just said was, maybe their defensive backs are, just covering our guys up. I would agree to that more so, because I think that, there were a couple of times when you saw, guys in motion, and we talk about this all the time, the zip, bang, zooms, moving guys around to kind of protect certain elements of your offense, and you can't always stay in the shotgun when you're dealing with the defensive line that can really put a lot of pressure on you like that. So you have to bring tight ends in a little close and chip block a little bit. You have to let the running backs flare a little bit and chip block also as well. I thought there were several times you saw max protection to give those throws an opportunity. Sure. But when we went max protection, it felt like Manute, they were doubling. They were doubling either Maserati, sure, or they was over there on Mike Wilson with a single man coverage, and they was bracketing Trey Benson from the Trey McBride from the inside. So again, that's why I say the game plan is, you have to watch what coaches are doing to try to offset what you think you're good at. And we know the last couple of weeks have been all Marvin Harrison, and for the most part, dink and dunk with everybody else. But the defense that we played was a very, very good defense, a well-coached defense. And so the head games and the chess match between the two coaches and, Drew Petzing trying to make plays and, trying to get guys in a position to make plays. I think that the only thing we did have was the 50-50 balls. I noticed that because a lot of back shoulder throws, sometimes they were outside of the, out of bounds, outside the receiver's reach, or they had to come back and get the ball. I noticed those too, but when you look at what they were doing defensively, I think that was just a very, very tough defense that was well coached.
The other thing too is, accountability with the football. I thought that Murray got away with a couple. Threw that one pick in the end zone. You just can't do that when you're driving in. We got coverage like that. There's a couple other throws. I'm like, Tyler, you can't do that. He got away with it, Frank, I thought, on a couple throws. But I think in his sixth year, he's got to be careful not to press and still allow the game to come to him.
I agree with you, but I think, so when we look at that defense we saw versus the Cardinals, I think that's going to be the defense they see going forward the next 14 weeks of the season. Like, that's literally a defense that came out with 4 down linemen. They got into a wide technique, and they put pressure to pinch and try to keep Kyle in the pocket. They had a nice cloud coverage on the backside. That's either cover 4 or cover 2. They doubled every now and then, but more than likely, that's a defense we will see. And when you say we have to, allow it to come to us, again, we can go through the conversation and say last week the Rams were beat up. Well, this week we know our offensive line was beat up. We knew we didn't have the best offensive line versus, a very, very tumultuous defensive line in the Detroit Lions. But we tried our.
He dropped?
Oh, he dropped him on a cell phone.
And we saw him, kind of look a little bit razzled at times.
Frank Sanders is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Frank, I want to ask you this. As a former player, have your offensive linemen, when you had caught a ball and you were struggling to make extra yards, come over and ever picked you up and carried you 5 to 8 yards for a first down? Because that's exactly what the Lions did with running back David Montgomery.
It is the best free ride you'll ever get.
Sure.
On the football field.
Uh-huh.
Yes, they did, man. It's the best free ride you'll ever get. That's what you're hoping for. One of the best things I always hear, Lomas Brown or Larry Center says, if you catch that ball, we coming. And so that means if anyone's trying to stand me up, they got me. They're going to push that pile and try to get us some extra yards. That is something that when you look at it, that's why I say you look at a well-coached team that they want to enforce they want to impose their will against you. And when you have an offensive line or defensive line that'll run down the field to get to that ball and either try to, give you more yards or take away those yards, that's what you want to see, because that's the extra effort you need out of your team.
Frank, real quick before we leave, it was great to see you talk about Michael Wilson. Nice to see him get 8 balls in that game yesterday. And you think about it, hey, they got 13 balls between he and Marvin Harrison. At least the attempt or getting the ball to him. I thought that was big growth for him. I think big growth for this offense to see him get that involved.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I'm looking for big things out of both of these guys. I just know that as the season progresses, every defense is going to have its attempt to try to stop Kyler. And if they do that, they're going to bracket everybody else on the outside. I was happy to see him catch balls and make plays. I know he's not a third wheel in our offense, but I definitely believe he can be a guy that can, if something happens to Marvis, he can be a guy that can go out and make plays. We got young receivers and a young tight end, a young core guys that we're asking a lot of. And the only veterans we have is JC, and that's James Conner and Kyler for the most part. And that's not really, time and tenure. I'm happy for Michael for him to get out and make some plays. I'm glad we threw the ball and got some guys an opportunity to catch the ball. I want to see more of those slants and those back shoulder throws, sometimes those one-steppers, try to get the ball in the hand a lot faster, some shallow crosses and some drags that kind of, allow them to use their speed and their body. Again, I'm excited about what we have right now athletically. Michael did a good job, man, and he showed us he made some plays.
How difficult was it for you to watch with the stadium almost 3/4 Detroit Lion fans? It looked like a Lions home game.
Hawaiian blue like a big dog.
Man,
it's to be expected. That's one of the things I will say about our schedule this year. Fans that are listening to us on the radio and the ones that are not even just listening to us online, however they are listening to us, you have to know that your presence is needed and it's valuable, because the teams we're playing this year, their fan base will travel well. They will do, and they look forward to coming to take over your stadium. It's not a beautiful picture, man, from what we had the week before, but I hope that it gets better as the season progresses for us to show up to the games.
Frank, have you gone to the dry cleaner this week to get your outfit all ready for Thursday? I mean, what color you want me to wear? What do you need me to wear to match?
No, brother, you tell me what you want me to wear, and I got you. Or let's go buy something and let's figure it out, my man. But also, don't forget to bring my gifts.
I got them. They're in my car right now. Manuch, the
there
Christmas
we
gift.
Go.
Oh, yes.
The Sanders 81 golf balls.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What he doesn't realize, though, he's gone, right? Is he off?
No, he's still there.
No, I'm still here. I'm listening, brother.
So what I did on these TP5s, good ones, good balls, I put his phone number.
Oh.
If found, please return to Frank Sanders.
Because Frank's one of those guys that'll look for his ball for like a half hour.
Oh, no, yeah. Believe me, it was a 6-hour round. That's why I was 2 hours late.
Oh, I see.
And he was ahead of us. And they had nobody ahead of him.
Yeah, man, Frank. Jeez, get all the money in the world. He's looking for his ball for a half hour. Let's go.
Well,
move on, man.
All right, Frank, we'll talk.
Love you, Frank.
Maybe we get those bowling pants out like you did the Phoenix Open about 6 years ago.
I look forward. Hey, Rock, I look forward to it, brother. But we're gonna take a picture and we'll let the fans decide who's the best dressed.
Okay. All right. I have to go. I better go to Nordstrom's. All right, buddy. We'll talk to you. That's Frank Sanders. See you on Thursday. Yeah, we're at a charity golf tournament on Thursday, so
all right.
We're looking forward to that.
You better be styling, Rock.
Well, I brought in some ringers, not him, even though he's a good player.
He is a good player.
But I got a +2 playing with us and a 5, so I think we should. If I don't come on the air on Thursday with a trophy, then I should probably not come on the air.
Stay home, man.
Yeah. One more to go. It's Rock and Manuch. Jimmy B, we're out here at Arena Sports Grill. We are going to give you an opportunity to win $9,100